Haven't confessed in years? See what happens. Have you ever thought about what really happens when someone hasn't gone to confession in years? It's one of those things many Catholics quietly struggle with, even if they don't talk about it openly. Some avoid it out of fear, some out of shame, and some because they think, what's the point? God already knows my sins. But confession is so much more than just telling God what He already knows. It's an encounter with His mercy, a moment where grace meets our weakness, and the soul is restored in a way nothing else can compare to. Imagine this. You're carrying a heavy backpack filled with stones. At first, it doesn't feel too bad, but as the days, weeks, and years pass, the weight grows unbearable. You start adjusting your life around it. Maybe walking slower, maybe taking shorter routes, maybe avoiding certain paths altogether. That's what unconfessed sin does. It changes the way we live without us even realizing it. It drains our joy, it keeps us restless, and it makes us feel distant from God, even if we still go to Mass or pray occasionally. And then one day, you decide to lay that backpack down. That moment of release, that's what confession feels like after years away. There's this indescribable lightness, this peace that fills the soul. People have said it's like breathing freely for the first time in years. Some even cry because the relief is so overwhelming. There's a story of a woman who avoided confession for almost 30 years. She said every time she thought about going back, a voice inside told her, it's too late, you are too far gone, you'll just embarrass yourself. But one day, she walked into church, sat in the confessional, and for the first time in decades, poured out everything. When she came out, she said it felt like a mountain had been lifted off her shoulders. She couldn't stop smiling, and she said, I thought confession was about shame, but it was actually about freedom. That's the beauty of God's mercy. No matter how long it's been, His response is never anger, but joy. Think of the parable of the prodigal son. The son wasted everything, turned his back on his father, and came crawling home, ashamed. But what did the father do? He didn't scold him, he ran to him, embraced him, and celebrated his return. That's what happens in confession, especially after years away. Heaven itself celebrates. But here's another thing. Confession doesn't just wipe away sins. It strengthens the soul. Grace isn't just about the past, it's about the future too. When someone returns to confession after years, they often find themselves suddenly able to resist temptations that used to defeat them, or able to forgive in ways they couldn't before. That's because grace restores and equips us. It's not only healing, it's empowering. So why do so many people delay for years? Fear, shame, lies from the enemy. The devil works hardest to keep us from confession because he knows the power it holds. He whispers, the priest will judge you. Everyone will know. You will just fall again. So why bother? But those are all lies. Priests have heard everything before, and they don't sit in judgment. They act as instruments of God's mercy. And as for falling again, that's why we keep coming back. A child learning to walk doesn't give up after stumbling. They get back up. And God, like a loving father, is always there to steady us. So what really happens when someone hasn't confessed in years? Their soul may be tired, burdened, restless, but the moment they return, chains are broken, guilt gives way to peace, fear turns to joy, and heaven throws a celebration. If you have been away from confession, or if you know someone who has, remember this, it is never too late. God is not counting the years you've stayed away. He's waiting for the moment you come home. And that moment, that step into the confessional, could be the beginning of a brand new life, one filled with freedom, grace, and peace. So if you've been wondering what really happens when you finally confess after years, the answer is simple. Everything changes. The weight lifts, the soul heals, and you discover a joy you may have forgotten even existed. Don't wait another year. Don't let fear keep you from the mercy of God. Haven't confessed in years? Go and see what happens. God bless you.